What does this win over the Chiefs say about Lamar Jackson?
Man, it says that finally Lamar Jackson can beat the Chiefs, which means everything. It means now then that Lamar Jackson can go to a Super Bowl. And if Lamar Jackson can go to a Super Bowl, it also says that Lamar Jackson can win a Super Bowl. Do not for a second underestimate nor understate what this wins. The Chiefs were the toll road, and you got to pay the toll for the little bridge to go up, for the little barricade to go up so that you can pass the toll to get to where you want to get to.
Okay.
The Chiefs were the toll road. And the Ravens had previously not been able to get past the toll. They got through all the other exits, got on the on-ramp, they got to the toll, and they had to turn around, or they just sat there and stalled and let other people drive past. But finally, this win tells me that, hey, the Ravens can do it and they can go all the way. That's the biggest thing I truly took away. It also says that the gap in arm talent between Mahomes and Lamar Jackson may be vast.
It may be vast?
Large.
What do you think?
It may be. But the gap in efficiency and effectivity is not nearly as large as we want to make it.
Effectivity, not effectiveness.
Because
I like it.
It's like, yes, Patrick Mahomes is a generational talent between his IQ, between his arm, between all these things and his weapons. But Lamar Jackson still beat him. He just did it his way.
Okay, there you go.
And I loved it because everything doesn't have to look how we want it to look for it to be efficient or for it to be effective. Lamar Jackson looks like nothing we've ever seen before. I don't care. Don't bring up the others. Like, yes, they share some qualities, but he just does it even better. This win was huge for the Ravens. This win was huge for the NFL because the NFL previously, you got to go through the Chiefs. I'm not saying you no longer have to go through the Chiefs, but at least now the Ravens can go through the Chiefs and or you got to go through the Ravens too.
Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. You were giving some props to Lamar Jackson, but you were giving it to him as an appetizer, hors d'oeuvres of sort. You brought him on the tray, but you didn't want to serve it on the plate. Let me give it to him as an entree.
Please do.
Woo, Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, they done caught up to those Kansas City Chiefs. And good for them. I don't know if the Kansas City Chiefs are better this year than they were last year. Mahomes went 14-1 last year. Can they be better? They already have that one loss this season. We'll see. But even if the Chiefs have gotten better, Lamar has closed the gap. The Ravens have closed the gap. And how did they close the gap? Let's not forget about the injuries. They closed the gap with no running backs in the backfield, but I guess if Lamar Jackson is still available, then your best running back is still available. Lamar Jackson in terms of the passing game. And let's be real about this passing game. We all had our question marks about it. I think we still have some questions, but we're seeing flashes of brilliance in that passing game. Whether it's the big bombs out there to Hollywood or it's the fact that you saw Sammy Watkins, especially week one, looking good, you're starting to see the blips that you need to see to have some balance with this team's attack. Let's talk about the ability of this team, because the greatest ability of the Lamar Jackson Ravens is their unpredictability. Let's talk about how, to an untrained eye, you see this offense, you see this team coming, and you don't believe what you're seeing. I'm going to break this down by one play and one play in particular that lets you know how special this team is. Let's talk about the design runs for Lamar Jackson when they're up the A-gap.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about how that happens. When you get a slam block, okay, I'm sitting there as a nose tackle. I'm like, oh, I know they're going to run the ball. Lamar Jackson, I don't know where he's going to go. Then you get slammed from a guard and a center. Guard says, got him. Now let's go up to the linebacker. You're the linebacker. I remember when you played. I know how you think. You're like, I ain't signed up for this, coach. But you know what? My job's on the line. Got to do what I got to do. Close my eyes and let's make some dirt. So now you got the 300-pounder getting slammed by two guys, so it's 600 pounds on him. He's not going to make that play. You got a linebacker who's not fully committed to this, but his job's on the line. And then who's carrying the ball? Lamar Jackson in a blur, coming downhill. I swear, every time he gets that ball in that designed run, it's 6 yards before anybody is in consideration of making that play.
Yes, sir.
What happens is not just that play in design, is when you don't know that play is coming, the unpredictability of that play. I'm looking at the Ravens, looking at the Kansas City Chiefs, say, we know who you guys are. But you guys don't understand who we are in fullness. And if this passing game continues to uptick, oh, it's going to be special for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens.
My dog, you just threw it right there to the rim, so I got to dunk it. I'm about to give the world one of those slap your mama takes. At least one of them takes that make you want to slap yourself. The worst thing that ever happened to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens was Lamar Jackson leading the league in passing touchdowns.
Oh, don't do that.
That was the worst.
How?
Let me tell you why.
Ooh.
Lamar Jackson is a transcendent runner at the quarterback position. He is the best runner at the quarterback position the game of football has ever seen.
Facts.
Ravens, lean into that. From here on out, lean into that. Stop trying to go away from what Lamar Jackson does best and make sure you maintain balance. Lean into what Lamar Jackson does better than anybody else. Let me give y'all stats to back this up.
Let's go.
The Ravens are 14-0 when Lamar Jackson rushes for 90-plus yards. They're 9-0 when Lamar Jackson rushes for 100-plus yards. They're 11-1 when Lamar Jackson has 15 or more carries in the regular season. Lean into what Lamar Jackson does better than everybody else. Will Smith, big dog, you a comedian. Just take on roles that are comedic. Because what Denzel Washington does is this.
What?
Well, let me tell you, Sal.
We're going to lose, Ali.
Let me tell you, Sal. What Denzel Washington does is this. He going to play the same role every time. He going to save somebody. He might save his kid in John Q. He might save somebody else's kid in Man on Fire. But he's saving somebody to be one of the best actors of our generation. He's not like, you know what, I'm going to go be funny. I know what I do. I know what I do well, so I'm going to do what I do better than everybody else. So where I am and what I learned from this game is this. The Ravens, you are at your best when Lamar Jackson just says, I'm better than anything y'all have ever seen at this position running the ball, so I am going to do that. So I would have previously come on the show discouraged. Lamar Jackson had 2 interceptions. Lamar only threw for under 250 yards. Man, Lamar Jackson only had 1 passing touchdown.
Trying to learn.
Bump all that.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson is a better runner at the quarterback position than the game of football has ever seen.
Yeah.
So what else I learned from here on out, Ravens, y'all just run the pill until they stop you.
Okay, stop right there. John Harbaugh erased everything you just saw and heard for the last 4 minutes when you were talking right there? Hell no. You know how small that box gonna shrink if Lamar Jackson just leans into running?
They tried.
They're gonna lean into his ass.
They tried.
They're gonna lean into him and knock him out the game.
Here is why I disagree.
You are wrong.
When you were talking, y'all bring up that 4th down play again if we have it. I think they pulled it up while my dog was talking. So I'm looking, and the box was stacked. Box, all that is, America, for your viewers, is how many linemen and linebackers are within like a 7-yard radius of the football. Box is stacked.
Yeah.
But the kicker is, though, even though they had untouched players, you still couldn't stop the man. Everybody and their mama knew he was going to run the ball. Everybody and their mama knew he was going to run the ball, and you still couldn't stop him.
Yeah, but
because you can't stop somebody that's transcendent.
Let me be oh, hell yes, you can. Let me be an insurance agent right now and look at this case and say, okay, everyone knew that Lamar Jackson was going to run the football.
Yes, sir.
Right there, and he still was successful in getting the 1 yard.
Yes, sir.
Game over. However, what was the risk factor in terms of this one play in comparison to a 1st down play in the middle of the 2nd quarter? What we're trying to do is make sure we got you off balance to fully exploit who you are as a defense. You don't want Lamar Jackson doing that many times in the ball game, even though he was successful in that opportunity. Let me tell you what you're also wrong on. Will Smith, don't ever do that. Dog, in the pursuit of happiness.
He did that. And 7 pounds. He did do that.
In the pursuit of happiness for these Ravens, and in the pursuit of happiness for Will Smith, get out. It's okay to get out your lane. It's okay to throw the ball, Lamar. It's okay to throw the football.
Go ahead.
To throw the defense off. I do not want to see Lamar Jackson lean so heavily. And when we've been trying for the last couple of years to get him to have a balanced attack, to all of a sudden do that. Lamar, this is why I say that they caught the Kansas City Chiefs. And everyone's going to be like, oh, my God, how you can say it's just one game and they still have lost in the season series against them in years past? Shut it. Let's talk about this. They spotted them. 2 interceptions, a pick 6, spotted them, and still caught up to the Kansas City Chiefs. You can sit there and say, look, if you run a simulation, at the end of the ball game, the Kansas City Chiefs are not going to fumble the football in the last drive that can go ahead for the field goal. We understand that as well. But if you run this simulation 1,000 times going forward, I'm starting to see a team that actually has balance offensively. Look at the quarterback's records last 20 years or so when they have multiple picks and a pick 6 in the game. They have played 588 games, and they have lost 500 of them. Lamar Jackson did something special against normal teams. That was extremely special when you're talking about it was against the Kansas City Chiefs. Also, the Ravens' first game versus the Chiefs in this era, where they actually did well on money downs. Little details like this. The first time they were over 50% in 3rd down percentage. I'm nitpicking because this is what it takes for you to catch up to the greatest in your conference. Now they have caught up to them. The only thing that's going to take them over the hump is actually having balance in their offense.
No, sir. What will take them over the hump is doing what they do well. Sell.
They do it.
First play of the game. Lamar Jackson, pass play. Excuse me, first play of the game, Lamar Jackson, right tackle, real quick run. Second play of the game, Lamar Jackson, pass play. Third play of the game, Lamar Jackson, interception for a touchdown. So three plays to start the game. Second one, he misses Hollywood Brown. Long foul ball. Dude was wide open. Okay, we're going to go out there and pass again. Pick six. Ty Matthew, Chiefs going the other way. So what do? Second drive, hey, let's chill out. Do what you do well, Lamar. Yeah. Hey, Denzel, just go out there and save somebody. So what's Lamar Jackson do next drive? 6 plays. Only 1 pass, and it was a short pass, a glorified handoff, a long handoff, if you will. 6 plays, touchdown. Okay, Lamar, let's go back to, being balanced, like Marcellus said. Next drive, how does that end? Interception. Next drive, how does that end? Punt. Then they come around and say, you know what? Bump all this cute stuff. Let's turn around and start handing this rock off, and Lamar Jackson, you start keeping the pill. Touchdown, field goal, touchdown, touchdown. Sell. Balance is cute,
that tells
but
me
not
nothing.
balance for balance sake. So the second play of the game was a long incomplete pass. Third play of the game was a pick six. Next drive, they say, we not going to pass. Touchdown. Next drive, they say, hey, let's pass
They
again.
had to settle Lamar down because, look, this is the problem with you guys out there who believe in voodoo and believe in, oh, my God, there's monsters. That even Lamar, who was saying that the Chiefs were his kryptonite, y'all make too much of situations. I ain't scared of nobody. You know why? Because nobody is to be scared of. I tell my wife all the time, 6 million ways to die. Choose one. I ain't going to be scared the rest of my life. I'm going to die one day, and guess what? In that moment, I probably won't even be scared because there is nothing to return from. So you're looking at the Kansas City Chiefs as they come, and you're like, oh, Patrick Mahomes, oh. And Lamar Jackson had to have some of that in him. I'm being real. Because why are you going out there throwing the pick six? Why are you out there pressing? Why you had to get calmed down, settle down, go back to what you're naturally
That's
confident
what I'm saying.
in? Yeah, you're naturally confident in that because in part, they don't trust you to throw the football like they should in Greg Roman. And in part, because you make mistakes like that, either you're errant with the pass or you throw a pick six. But guess what? This team also went out there and finally found some form of balance in comparison to years past against the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me give it to you like this. When you look at the Chiefs are simple to figure out. Run the ball on them, you control the clock, you all of a sudden take time of possession, you chunk up the yards, the next thing you know, they lose in those games. They are 1-3 when they give up 200-plus rushing yards. Most teams going to be a losing team when they give up 200-plus rush yards. But that's the formula. So, yeah, in this game, run the football, but in this game also have a pass touchdown. Did they not have that?
One.
And that's the point. You need that. Without that one, do they win this game? That's the point. If you want to isolate, we can't isolate to the point where we lose balance.
Here is my point. They were not balanced. 41 carries, 26 passes. Off rip, Sir Columbia, sir, that is not balanced.
Oh, hold on. Now I can't let you go.
That's not.
You're going to quantity of attempts versus how much yardage you get per opportunity.
But still,
is it easier to run the football and get yards or throw the football?
Typically throw the football.
Well, that's the point. That's why you don't have to throw it as much.
But for these Ravens, it's not necessarily the same case. Even when I look at it, so you had 26 pass attempts. 2 of them were picked. So 1 out of every 13 passes for Lamar Jackson was to the other team. 1 out of every 26 passes for Lamar Jackson was to the other team to the crib.
I don't understand this logic. Because now you're saying to change your decisions based on the results, but I'm saying just make better decisions in play calling and better decisions with the football. If you look at it this simply, for years we've been saying, what is stopping the Ravens? The passing game. Now all of a sudden you're going to say, well, you're running the ball that well, don't pass. Here's
why. Because when I was watching the game yesterday, I for a moment felt pity for the Ravens offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. Like I truly did.
Let's go.
Because the second play of the game, I felt pity for a couple people, and y'all listen to me. I felt pity for Ravens first-round pick, Marquise Hollywood Brown. I felt pity for Ravens offensive coordinator, Greg Roman. The question is, why you pity them, Acho? Greg Roman schemed up a 70-yard touchdown on the second play of the football game, primetime game, 2-star quarterbacks. Hollywood Brown beat 3 defenders, primetime game, 70-yard touchdown should be. But your quarterback, your MVP, unanimous quarterback, missed it. So Hollywood Brown doesn't have another 70-yard touchdown catch.
Facts.
Now we clowning Hollywood Brown saying he's not a first-round wide receiver. Look at what CeeDee Lamb out there doing. Look at what Tyreek Hill, another speedster, out there doing. Greg Roman, all they do is pass. All they do is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Y'all realize if Lamar Jackson connects on that, he passes for over 300 yards yesterday? If Lamar Jackson connects on that, he has 2 touchdowns and only 1 interception because he threw the pick the next play. He would have had a touchdown that play. Instead, Lamar Jackson doesn't connect, and we blame Greg Roman, and we will go on to blame Hollywood Brown had they lost. When really, I'm like, that's Lamar Jackson's miss. So why are we pressing, making Lamar Jackson do something that he might be good at, but he's not great at, when Lamar Jackson can easily do something he isn't just great at, he is astute, phenomenal, marvelous, as good as they have ever been in the world at. We're like, nah, let's just make sure we do what you're good at to stay balanced.
One, I'm not really in love with your adjectives right now. I'm not in love with how you're describing Lamar Jackson. If you lead the league in passing touchdowns, I don't want to say good like C. I want to say like good B or great A. You led the league in passing touchdowns. You don't believe in him because he did that. I don't understand why. Here's the thing. No, you ain't gonna sell me 1,000 times because you come up with a new revelation that ain't gonna work for this team. Here's the thing about this team. This team just they just outgained what we saw in the Kansas City Chiefs. That's why they lost. Kansas City Chiefs usually are the ones that go out there and get more yards. That adds up to more points. You look at this situation the wrong way. You need to look at it like a coach would tell you in basketball. You're amazing going to your right. You need to work on your left-hand layup. Okay. And you're saying, no, I'm so good going right that why should I ever do my left? And I'm telling you why. Because when you get into the postseason, what will save you is you actually leaning into the things that you don't do so well.
Tim Duncan always banked the shot, didn't he? Huh? Tim Duncan always shot banks, didn't he?
No,
Sean Marion always shot like this, didn't he?
Yeah.
James Harden, he always goes left, don't he?
Yeah. And you know what set that up?
Come on,
You know what sets it up? Another skill. That's when I know you lost. And broadcaster 101, when a broadcaster does come on, it's over. We could go to break right now, but I'm going to let you keep talking. Dwight Freeney sets up spins by speed rush. Don't do that.
He did.
He did.
His move.
Hold on. His move. Yes, his move is running the football, but you got to set it up with a passing game. You're making my point.
I'm not. If you're going to set it up, then at least set it up safer. But you can't set it up with the cost. You can't set it up by throwing a pick six. You can't set it up by throwing long foul balls.
Mahomes threw a pick yesterday, not a pick six, but he threw a pick as well. You don't pass the ball anymore. You know what? You don't run the football anymore. Mahomes had to run for his life in games before to keep the plays alive.
So, asking Lamar Jackson to throw the ball excessively is like asking Patrick Mahomes to run the ball excessively. Patrick Mahomes is a generational passer. So what's he going to do? He going to pass.
Okay,
now, he can
I'm
run.
going to get to you.
He going to run. But he's not going to. And here's the other thing. This is why I said Lamar Jackson leading the league in passing touchdowns was the worst thing ever. Because you will go back and you will hang on that, as will so many people. He led the league in passing touchdowns. How are you going to tell me he's not a great passer? LeGarrette Blount led the league in rushing touchdowns with 17.
Don't you do that, them one-yarders. Don't do that one-yarders.
That LeGarrette Blount was the greatest running back. He was a very good running back, and he was good at what he did.
Yeah.
But let's not say that Lamar Jackson leading the league in passing touchdowns. Let's not use that as a narrative to undermine Lamar Jackson.
It's not a narrative. You're undermining him saying you're hanging your hat on something he accomplished. You're supposed to hang your hat on things you accomplished. We're not talking in hyperbole. We're not sitting here talking about what ifs. We're talking about it actually happened in reality. Give you a conversation I had with a tremendous running back that I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to put him out there like that. Reggie Bush. We talked a long time ago. Reggie Bush, you know when Reggie Bush might have been, outside of Barry Sanders, the best running back we've ever seen come out of college. You're like, Barry Sanders.
Reggie might have.
No, it's not we're going to really have arguments. Barry Sanders, best running back ever come out of college. It's insane. Go watch him, especially his junior year. It's insane. Anyway, we'll have that conversation another time. I know how you want to fight. Reggie, now the transition to the pros wasn't as expected. Let's just say that. Maybe a notch off. You know, people are like, Reggie, what happened? Like, you know, I heard those things, right? And he was my dog, so I told him the truth. I said, this is what I see from a defender's perspective. You so fast and you're so quick to bounce out. You're not setting us up. We know you faster than us. Guess what we run in our head? Mental geometry, because you're going to your move. You want the Ravens to go to their move. All I'm saying is set us up with the move. And Reggie Bush, Miami especially, started to set you up. He started to go under. He started to come at you. And then that started to open up the outside. If the Ravens want this passing game to set up the running game, I vote for that. But if they don't, and they just go out there and try to go full tilt running game, watch what's going to happen to them. Lamar going to be at this desk with us, chilling.